Hola amigos! Bienvenidos at Chel's Treasures. Today, we're taking you on a vibrant and unforgettable day trip to Zamboanga City. Known as the Latin City of Asia, Zamboanga is a colorful blend of Spanish, Muslim, and indigenous cultures. It is a place where the rhythm of life dances between centuries-old history and modern charm. From pink sand beaches to Tausug flavors, from historic forts to vibrant street markets, Zamboanga is full of surprises. Tara, let's explore! Our journey started with a long but scenic 12-hour bus ride from Ozamiz City. The bus made several stops in different municipalities along the way, giving us sneak peeks of Mindanao's diverse landscapes. After a long day on the road, we finally arrived in Zamboanga City, ready for adventure. We arrived in Zamboanga past 4 in the afternoon and checked in at Hotel Primera. It is a comfortable and convenient place to stay, right in the heart of the city. The rain welcomed us, but it didn't stop us from going out to explore. Our first stop was Dennis Coffee Garden, a must-visit for anyone wanting to experience authentic Tausug cuisine. The cafe has a cozy garden vibe and feels very welcoming. It celebrates Tausug heritage, which comes from the Sulu archipelago, a culture rich in maritime history and flavorful cooking. The Tausug people are one of the major Muslim ethno-linguistic groups in the Philippines, originally from Sulu. Their cuisine is rich with spices, coconut, and layered flavors, truly a reflection of their vibrant culture and seafaring history. We started with a complimentary bowl of sindol, a sweet coconut milk dessert with glutinous rice balls. It was perfect for warming us up after coming in from the rain. Next, we tried biaki, a delightful sticky rice treat with coconut and corn. Then dural, a glutinous rice cooked in creamy coconut milk. Both were simple yet comforting. We also sampled Tausug pastil, their version of a half-moon pastry, traditional filled with sautéed sprouted beans. These days, fillings may vary. Ours had a classic bean filling, giving it a familiar yet unique taste. For our main dishes, we had beef kulma, a flavorful Tausug-style beef curry. Chicken pianggang followed, marinated in burnt coconut and spices, then grilled to smoky perfection. Lastly, hula itum, a hearty beef soup turned black with burnt coconut, rich and comforting. We also ordered their famous coffee. It is known all over Zamboanga, and of course, we had to bring some packs home as pasalubong. In fact, Dennis Coffee Garden also sells other Sulu delicacies in small containers and packs, which make great gifts to take home to family and friends. A little tip though, if you're bringing kids with you, some of the dishes here might be a little strong or unfamiliar for their taste, especially the spicier ones. This dinner was a perfect welcome to Zamboanga. Through its food, you really get to experience a taste of Tausug culture and hospitality. After our Tausug dinner, our Zamboanga host joined us and took us around for a quick night stroll. We headed to the Boulevard next, known locally as Artilim Boulevard. It is one of Zamboanga's favorite hangout spots where locals come to jog, stroll, or just enjoy the sea breeze. In the evenings, the place comes alive with food stalls and street food.
palit dili magpuputan no. Palit ko sa dili mo palit.
Next, we visited Paseo del Mar. This seaside boardwalk is a lively hangout with food stalls, entertainment, and great views of the Sulu Sea. We grabbed a few bottles of bubbly drinks, found a good spot, and enjoyed the live music. The vibe here was relaxed and friendly, a perfect way to end our first night. The next morning, we skipped the hotel breakfast and headed out to try one of Zamboanga's iconic dishes, Satti. On the way, we picked up some local kakanin that we do not usually find back home. Discovering street food is always part of the adventure. Jimmy's Satti is one of the best known spots for this local favorite. Satti is a simple but flavorful dish. It is basically grilled beef or chicken skewers served with a special spicy sweet sauce and rice shaped into cubes. The sauce is what makes it unforgettable. Rich, spicy, and slightly sweet with a smoky flavor. It is a beloved breakfast staple in Zamboanga. Next on our itinerary is a trip to Santa Cruz Island, also known as Pink Beach, one of Zamboanga's natural treasures. From Paseo del Mar, we boarded a motorized boat and arrived at the island after about 15 minutes. The beach is known for its pinkish hue, created naturally by crushed red corals mixed with white sand. Santa Cruz Island is a protected area, guided by local conservation laws to preserve its delicate ecosystem and rich cultural heritage. Visitors are encouraged to be mindful and respectful of the island's natural beauty. We enjoyed taking photos, swimming, and exploring the shore. From our experience, the sand can feel a bit itchy, likely due to the coral fragments, so wearing swimwear that covers more skin can be a good idea. There were also local vendors selling pearl accessories and other crafts. It is a nice way to support local artisans while finding unique souvenirs. We skipped the lagoon and sandbar tours this time, but they are available if you want to explore more, and it gives us a reason to return one day. After freshening up at the hotel, we visited the historic Fort Pilar, one of Zamboanga's most important landmarks. Built in 1635 under Spanish rule, Fort Pilar once protected the city from pirates and invaders. Today, it is a religious and cultural site. The fort houses the shrine of Nuestra Señora la Virgen del Pilar, the city's patroness. Many come here to pray and light candles. We also took a moment to offer our prayers. There is also a museum within the fort complex, but we did not go in this time. Next, we visited Zamboanga City Hall, a beautiful building that dates back to the American period. It was built in 1907 and continues to serve as the seat of local government. Located right in the heart of the city, its colonial architecture is one of the finest examples of preserved heritage here in Zamboanga. Our next stop was the Rainbow Mosque. Known for its vibrant and colorful design, the mosque is an important place of worship for the Muslim community here. It also symbolizes the diversity and cultural richness of Zamboanga, where Christian, Muslim, and indigenous communities live together in harmony. No trip to Zamboanga is complete without visiting the Canelar Trading Center. This barter trade center is not about exchanging goods the old-fashioned way. It is actually a vibrant marketplace where you can buy a wide variety of imported goods, especially from Malaysia and Indonesia. You will find everything from textiles, garments, and food products to bags and other household items. We had a great time browsing and brought home few items from here. After that, we attended a birthday celebration. We wrapped up our day with a visit to Hacienda de Palmeras to try Zamboanga's famous Knicker Bocker. Knickerbocker is a refreshing layered dessert made with fresh fruits, gelatin, and ice cream. For us, it was nice but not something extraordinary. But it is still a fun local treat that is worth trying at least once. And that ends our Destino Zamboanga adventure. It was short but full of stories, flavors, and scenic moments. We are bringing home some lovely finds from the Barter and even more special memories from this beautiful and diverse city. Zamboanga is truly a city where history meets culture meets adventure.
Hola, Zamboanga, esta hermosa ya, ciudad que bien mucho colores, junto kita cantar.
We really enjoyed going around the city with the help of GrabTrike. It made moving from one place to another so convenient and allowed us to see more in a short time.
Sabroso comida y rico historia, ven vale de mi ciudad, vale cultura y mucha alegría.
I hope this video inspires you to add Zamboanga to your travel list. If you enjoyed this vlog, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Chel's Treasures, where we explore the treasures of every journey. Bye!